Hello, friends. This is Eugenio Negro coming to you from somewhere in beautiful San Jose, California. If you'll continue watching this video, I'm going to read a little bit of my book, Bye Bye and Schlort, which you can get at finer family bookstores such as Bell's in Palo Alto or Bound Together in San Francisco, or online from exitosgnosis.com or through your local library exchange. Here we go. Thursday, 6:20 p.m., 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Heavy halting breaths borrow moisture from the rain other side of the frosty mountains. Bayani stumbles over trash-scum curbs, hungry enough that feet feel the drag of the agonized. A car alarm slaps against the parts of her ear, single klaxon divided by surfaces into 2 or 3 pitches. She crosses past the Rocket Ship Academy there amongst almost flashing headlamps. As quiet and modest as it is, the Sacred Hearts community is stupid enough to let not one but 2 rocket ship charters open in their neighborhood. They get the feeling of special treatment for their own brown children that the big white public schools never seem to achieve, taught by clueless, untrained college graduates who just want to keep their Teach for America spot and tight pants. Meanwhile, the founder hides in his office complex and rakes in cryptocurrency from subscribers to the Junior PCAM website supplied by cameras in his schools. Brown parents won't have time to suspect. Austin Court's homes are piled with cars and lit with Bayani's memories, shines of her mother. She spies a telephone pole opposite the corner amongst mimosa trees, approaches it. Surely one little Skype handle or phone number wants to show itself. She tries not to hear what else might come through. With a throat-burning inhalation, she grasps the drop wires, reaches in a night darker than her eyelids. Heartbeats pound against deep breaths. No numbers, no voices, only the grain of the wood against her fingers. The effort makes it feel more hopeless. She knocks at the door, ready for Molly to call the 5150. The aunt appears behind the screen, hair back and eyes screwed up with what appears to be Maybelline, indifferent. Come in, Bayani, make it quick, my non-profit friends are here. The living room's oddly bright, sofa moved over beneath a new tree lamp and beset by 2 white women who gawk in stretchy workout gear. This is my niece, Molly regrets to inform them, as her niece shrinks against the door. The one where my big sister had a self-deport. The brunette's face melts in a cascade of sympathy. Oh, honey, immigration is terrible. The economy only suffers when we don't respect everyone's rights. And slurps a smooch around a juicy strawberry from a huge, well-picked basket, organic no less. Bayani notes a chill-out mix on the air. No bashing Christian rock drums. I'm just going to get my box in the back, she peeps. Is it still in the carport? I didn't touch none of it. In the dew-flaky box, Bayani finds 2 tangles of old underwear and another usable top. Such a stupid move with the sleeping bag. She zips her new coat up high so she doesn't look weird with the tank top under the winter coat. Just needs Uggs unbeknownst to her, and she'll have the UC Santa Cruz uniform. Over her shoulder, the television glows in Molly's room. The bored, caffeinated pace of sports commentary, an echo from neighbors' windows in her girlhood ear. When the niece rejoins them inside, unsmiling Molly nods furiously as the blonde speaks. So, our budget projection has to be close as possible to how it ends up so we can stabilize our Q2 funding confidence level. That's based on a head count of total homeless, then we usually add a few equivalent to projected growth. So that means we might be asking your congregation for volunteers to help count for a few hours someday. Would that be okay? Oh, of course, barks Molly. They're really gauged in the community. We can actuate that. The flat nose chooses and ejects the word actuate like a kid grubs a candy. The blonde approves. We'll totally provide flyers and sign-up sheets so they can help count. Then our budget might actually increase, which of course is what we're always gunning for. I mean, property taxes are due, right? Cautiously, the brunette cuts in with reassurance. From 2012 to this January, median home prices went up 50%. It's going to do that again in the next 3 years. Rentals are harder to track, but average rent went up by about a quarter in the same term. When you think about people who rent, that's going to be a big chunk of change. So we've got to hedge for that. Again, the blonde with a glance at Bayani, white guilt pinched between her fingers at the tip of her tongue. Are you renting? You know, there's about to be a ton of new apartment construction in town real soon. I'm sure the low-income units will get more affordable. So, Miss Dixon, that's why we want to nail down. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for the market to show us how many more homeless there will be to serve. It's really important to a lot of stakeholders, as you know, including the new mayor and his unaccompanied minor thing. I mean, President Obama is letting them in the borders with nowhere to go, and some of our biggest donors regularly have dinner with President Obama right here in Portola Valley, so it's all of one mind. The mayor is hoping these kids will come to San Jose instead of Oakland and increase our total N. That's definitely a delta in his skill set, but... Did you need to ask your aunt anything, honey? If she has anything to eat? The brunette reaches into a canvas bag at her feet. I can offer you veggie straws? The window frames rattle against a blast from a stationary car stereo, and the two non-profiteers duck for cover a moment. Oh, speaking of people who rent, are people shy about calling the police in your neighborhood, Molly? The niece accepts the whole bag of salty fiber air, eats autonomic fistfuls. Bayani, these girls are from Housing House. They're allies of my church. Molly swings the word allies like a club. She definitely just learned it, that meaning of it. Does any of this sound interesting to you? The blonde asked Bayani. Do you know any homeless people? No. The brunette chooses which of the two questions got the no. Well, apathy's hard to fight through. Are you sure you don't know anyone? The blonde persists. You know, everyone knows that homelessness is transigent by nature, you know? Transient? Transient, yes, always changing. The blonde shuffles in her bag, presents a clipboard. So even if you want to just sign as homeless, that'd really help our budgeting. Thanks to some really expensive social media campaigning, we housed 3 families last year. Dr. Randall Lilly's voice intrudes through wires of the niece's memory. Just sign. Adjust dosage. Raise totals. Yeah, I understand. I had a doctor who did that too. She says it plainly, as a matter of fact, like comparing cars or phones, to see which way the woman will take it. Own it or feign horror. Both choose horror. Mandibles flap like flat tires. Bayani feels super clever. You know, you make me think, persists the blonde. What else we should do, and maybe this interests you, is count up the homeless kids at the high schools. Seniors, you know, that's an increasing N right now. Our communications manager came up with that. He's a genius. The high school graduate curls her lip impatiently. Asks her aunt, Mason's not involved in this project? The aunt comes to attention from trying to figure out what her niece just did to her important friends. Shakes her head. He's in a doghouse anyway. I told him because I don't like going to work with the old car like some fob. You girls know what a fob is? I can't get a new car because my niece here won't turn her little brother so I can foster him and get some money. I don't know why she's waiting. Her dad could get deported any time. So sad they have families in this situation, remarks the blonde. And then grimaces at Bayani, a strawberry pinched in her fingers like fish guts. Were your parents farm workers? No. They run out of things to propose to Bayani, start to salivate visibly. The aunt leans in, face cocked up in a sales pitch. You know, Bayani, I can make it worth your while. We can work together. I know because you've been thinking about getting your little brother for yourself. I get it. It's a lot of money a month. But look, there's this kidnapping they've been talking about on Protect San Jose. Don't you see he needs a car to ride in? So once I get him kinshipped and I get my car, I'll give you $500. A month? Bayani's face flushes hot as oil. Through the instantaneously indurated, heartbroken hate squeezes only the nonsense question. A month? Like the time the lady from the county came to scare her 8th grade health class straight and she said that women rape too. For example, a man was kidnapped once by some female gang members and raped with a screwdriver, and the weird arty white kid behind her goes, which end? And the lady says, I don't know, next time I'll ask. Now she's that kid. Meanwhile, Molly has hunkered down to make a counteroffer. A month? Are you on crack cocaine? The door clatters open against the niece's elbow. No! Her voice quakes, the pain too tumescent to form responses. Her horrified face reflects in the 2 white nonprofit women's eyes, but who knows what they see. I don't make deals. The kidnappers are making deals. The door slams behind her. She slaps her hand against her face and suppresses desolate moans. Through her fingers, she sees a piece of spilled mail on the rotting couch left of the door, with a full name she's never seen. Malinche Dixon. Can't decide whether to laugh or cry. And later on in the book, she tells Pedro this. My aunt's real name is Malinche, but he doesn't get it. The pustule of hate pops and drains disgust down Bayani's throat. In rush the words that say plain what the aunt's economy conceals. How could you try to buy my brother? How could you shut me up and bury my family for a car? Of course Molly hangs with ojetes. Of course she wants to buy Isaías. Can buy a house, can buy a child. This whole city's economy shines simple now. If only she knew which of these cars was theirs, she could do survival in Pedro's honor. It's 99.9% probably this gray hybrid here, but who knows. Finds the bag of puffed vegetable air still in her hand. Puts it on the hybrid's windscreen cowl.